I haven't been this choked up since I got a hunk of moussaka caught in my throat. Huh? So is this an audience or a mosaic? Hey, how you doing? Looking good. Nice dress.
So, Hades, you finally made it. How are things in the underworld?
Well, they're just fine. You know, a little dark, a little gloomy, and as always, hey, full of dead people. What are you gonna do? Oh, there's the little sunspot. Little snoochie. And here is a sucker for the little sucker. Here you go. You just...
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Multiverse of Entertainment podcast. This is the podcast where we dive into the multiverse of TV and movies, and we dive in to see what is the good, the bad, and the damn right ugly. My name is James. Welcome to this week's show. If you listen to this now, this is the 27th of November, and it's just gone past Thanksgiving, so belated happy Thanksgiving to everybody over in the States. Hope you all had a good one. Hope you all had a nice turkey, and more importantly, spending time with family and friends over this amazing weekend. Hope you're all having a good day. This week, we are episode 33, and as you just heard, we are talking probably, this is my favorite Disney movie of all time. We're talking Hercules, and I'm looking forward to this one. Doing a bit of research for this one, and there's a lot of stuff that I didn't know, including like the different types of voice actors, which I would be really surprised at, and I think some of you will be surprised at. Some of you may not. Some of you buffs out there may not know, but I was flicking through doing my research, and I discovered a lot of stuff I will get into. But this is going to be a really good one. Thank you all for tuning in to last week's episode, which was all about Spider-Man, the animated series from 1994. Thank you very much. I did have a few messages saying that this episode was very nostalgic, and it brought them back to their childhoods, or some had never seen it and checked it out on Disney Plus, and they were like, yes, this is actually really, really good. Which I'm really happy with, so thank you all who reached out. I really do appreciate it. Without further ado, let's get into the episode where we're talking Hercules, which was originally released, let me put it here, on June 13th, 1997. Have a good one. Let's go.
Thread of life, good and tight.
Ladies, I am so sorry that I'm...
Late. We knew you would be.
We know everything.
Post, present, and future indoor plumbing. It's gonna be big.
Great. Anyway, see, ladies, I was at this party and I lost track of
You
time.
know.
I know. You know. So, here's the deal.
Some of these sound bites are just so nostalgic, especially when it comes to this show, or this movie, I should say. If those of you are asking why aren't I using like some of the soundtracks, copyright issues, obviously, DMCA and stuff like that, and I've kind of like, because I'm doing more TV and movies. Oh, well, this podcast is TV and movies. I know I love, some of you love the soundtracks. I do too. I love the soundtracks, but it's getting to that point now where probably can only get away with it for so long, and sometimes it's quite nice. I haven't used actual movie sound bites for a while now. I think the last time I used sound bites might have been episode 5, maybe, when I did the Die Hard episode, which is in the archives right now. But if somebody else knows if I've done anything before then, but let me know. Actually, I might have used one in Rush Hour, maybe. I'm not too sure. But anyway, we're talking Hercules, and this movie is right in my wheelhouse. This movie is one of my favorite, let's say, Disney films of all time. One of my favorite animated movies of all time. This movie is literally probably in animated form, probably top five. Top five easily. So a little breakdown of it. Hercules is a 1987 American animated musical fantasy comedy film produced by Walt Disney Features Animation for Walt Disney Pictures. It's loosely based off the legendary hero Hercules, known in the film by his Roman name Hercules. The son of Zeus in Greek mythology. The film is directed by John Musker and Ron Clements. Now, those two names are very familiar. Who both produced who both of whom produced the film with Alice Drew Goldstone. Screenplay was written by Clement Musk and Donald McGarry, Bob Shaw, and oh god, there's always one name in there, Eric Mitchkin. I'm not going to tell you about the voice actors. We'll talk about the voice actors later on. But this movie has pretty much everything. It has musical, it has ups, it has downs, and this movie was in development from like early 1992. The early pitches of Hercules was really brought into it while they just hadn't long finished the Aladdin movie. The Aladdin movie had just come out, and they were already on the drawing board, ready for this next installment, which obviously took a long time to produce. I mean, if you go from, I'm pretty sure they had other animated movies between there and then, but go from Aladdin, which is getting an episode. Don't worry, guys. The gap from Aladdin to Hercules is a long time, a really long time, and for me, and probably many of us growing up, especially during the 90s, I don't remember any of these. I don't remember any of these movies coming to theater when I was a kid. I'm not entirely 100% sure. Whenever I saw these films, they would always be on VHS. I know it's a throwback. They would be on VHS, and I like, if somebody's ever seen these movies in the cinema, somebody please let me know. I don't remember. I probably have, but I just don't remember. But I don't recall. Anyway, so with the storyline, it's ancient Greece. The gods are celebrating the birth of Zeus and Hera's newborn baby, which is a son. They named Hercules. All the gods have come up celebrating, overjoyed. Then all of a sudden, Zeus' wicked brother Hades, who is voiced by the incomparable, the amazing, the legendary James Woods, who is one of my favorite actors. Either whether he's been in like certain movies, animated series, he's amazing in Family Guy as well. Shout out to Family Guy there, and he got the lucky part of voicing Zeus, and I'm pretty sure Rip Torn voices Zeus as well. So that you already straight into the movie, you've got these two mega movie stars voicing these two iconic characters, which fit really, really well. Where Rip Torn's voice is like very championing and stoic, which suits Zeus. And then you've got the wicked and somewhat cunning voice of James Woods playing Hades. So Hades is, just coming up to celebrate with them all. Everyone's not happy to see him, obviously. There is this comedic scene between the two. where eventually Hades says something, and then Zeus and all the gods start laughing, and it's come to fruition that Zeus has a plot to take, to defeat Zeus and rule Mount Olympus, which literally takes him 18 years. However, before this, he sees the fate. Is it the fates? Where the fates, where they learn that they teach him that 18 years from now, you will rule Mount Olympus. You will unleash the Titans to conquer Olympus. But if Hercules doesn't inherit his godlike abilities, then nothing will stand in his way. So Hades sends his minions Pain and Panic, who are amazing, who are annoying but hilarious, and they're out to set to murder Hercules. Which it sounds dark, doesn't it, for a Disney film, murder? But this is Disney, and they turn around and go. So they get this potion where if you give this baby the potion, the god, the immortality, you strip Hercules of his godlike immortality, and then the two can then pretty much murder the baby. However, they kidnap the baby, travel down Mount Olympus. Zeus finds out. Zeus is very angry, as you can imagine, and they don't know where the baby's gone. Meanwhile, the two minions are strolling down strolling down the mountain, but Hercules is crying. He's upset. He's obviously hungry. So they give him. Hercules the potion, and just before Hercules drank all the drops, Pain and Panic. I stumbled there for a second. Then Pain and Panic scurry because they hear a married farmer couple passing nearby, which spooks them and knocks the beaker out of Hercules's mouth, which, because he didn't drink the last drops, he retained his godlike strength. And then, obviously, Hercules is wearing this medallion. The married couple are blessed because they've been asking for a child for a long time, but never were able to have one themselves. So they take Hercules as their adopted son. But to Hercules, as he's grown up through the 18 years, he doesn't realize, he thinks that these two are his own parents, and he's like, oh, well, I just got these gifts because it's me, right? But eventually, as Hercules grows up, he realizes, like, he doesn't fit in with everybody else. The parents, the married couple tell him then, look, you're not our son, really our son. You are, we found you near Mount Olympus, and this is around your neck. So this technically means you're a god. So then he goes out. He goes out and seeks out somebody who could train, heroes. Which Hercules ends up meeting Phil, who is a half man, half goat, who is voiced by the incredible and legendary Danny DeVito. Now, you guys are like, Danny DeVito in a Disney film doesn't sound right, doesn't? And like you think that, but in the 90s, dude, that was awesome. You got you got Robin Williams on one Disney film, and then you got Danny DeVito on the next. Crazy, right? So Hercules is like, when Hercules meets Phil, Hercules is like, come on, I want to train like hero. And Phil is like, no, the last hero I trained was Achilles, and he was like the promising hero. He did really, really well, but then while he was while he was taking on an enemy, his Achilles literally like snapped, and then it was never the same again. So Phil has been in this this depressing state for a long time. But then when Phil realizes that Hercules has this like godlike strength, Phil's like, all right, okay, you can prove yourself as a hero. I'll trade you, but you have to prove yourself as a hero. These are the things you go down. And then it goes into this like musical number of Hercules training, which is comical, but it's also you see the progression of Hercules becoming this hero, which is really cool. Then after this, he then they're all like celebrating. I think it's really cool. Oh, by the way, Pegasus is in this as well, who is Hercules' trusted friend and steed. They they do decide that they do then. They're in the forest, and all of a sudden they just hear they're on their way to Thebes, where Phil's like, right, this is the place where you can prove yourself as a hero. On the way there, then they see a damsel in distress by the name of Meg, who is being pursued by a senator known as Narcissus. Narcissus? I can never get these names right. Narcissus. Nessus. Nessus. Some of you guys are probably laughing right now. I know one of you is laughing right now. And you know who you are. You. And, he's like, Hercules is like, right, I gotta save this girl. And Phil's like, no, you gotta do this, like, from a certain way. And as Phil turns around, Hercules is gone. And just watching him. And Phil and Pegasus is just watching, going, oh my God. This kid's gonna die if he doesn't make it. But Hercules eventually does hold his own, and then saves Meg and whatnot. But Meg is like Hercules is head over heels with Meg. So we're establishing like what Hercules is gonna go through and what he's gonna do, right? What he wants. However, as Hercules goes away with Phil and everyone, like Phil's even like trying to drag him away. Unbeknownst to Hercules, Meg is actually the slave of Hades because Meg is due to sell her soul to save her boyfriend, who eventually left her for another woman. But when Meg mentions Hercules Hades, he realizes Panic and Pain and Panic have failed in their plot to finish Hercules, I think it ends up in a scene where he like absolutely blows it. The entire forest gets blown, which is hilarious. Because Hades is, he's a head. He's the king of the underworld, and he has a flame for hair and whatnot, which is hilarious. So then Hades has to come up with a plan to stop Hercules, which means again, Pain and Panic decide to get Hercules in a certain way. So while Hercules and Phil are in Thieves trying to become a hero, which people aren't really buying, somebody then runs out and says there's a couple of kids are trapped in the mountains and whatnot, and Hercules is like, yeah, we'll come over and whatnot. We'll help them. Phil's trying to run behind them because he's a goat, and they've all panic. Hercules gets there and realizes, right, I'm going to save the kids right now. Yeah, got it. Move this huge boulder. All the town has seen it, cheering him on. Really cool. And even Phil's like, yeah, well done, kid. Now we gotta do this. You've got it in the palm of their hands. And then they realize wait, something's coming, a creature's coming, and it's Hydra. And the Hydra is like trying to kill Hercules. Phil legs it, which eventually turns into like this really big and terrifying scene where Hercules gets eaten by the Hydra. The Hydra is really happy, and then all of a sudden, from the inside, Hercules decapitates the Hydra. He thinks he's dead, but then, if you've watched Marvel, or the mythology behind the Hydra, you cut off one head, two will follow. Because Hercules keeps cutting the heads off, more heads are growing. And if anyone's ever played the Hercules video game and has played the Hydra level, we all know how incredibly frustrating that level can be, okay? Cutting the heads off a Hydra is tough, even for us simpletons, okay? But, you can see Hercules doesn't know what to do, and then realizes, hey, wait a minute, we can drop like a rock or something, cause a landslide. While this, Hades is like celebrating, going mental, and Hercules does eventually cause a landslide, but he's trying to get out of the way of the slide, but gets caught by the Hydra, and obviously all the rocks are cold, kills the Hydra permanently. Everyone is like, Hercules is dead. Everybody's really sad. Phil's really sad because he's lost another one, which is a shame. Then all of a sudden there's this just massive noise, and as the Hydra's hand is opening, it opens wider and wider to the suspense of the crowd, not knowing is like the Hydra's still alive. The hand opens and Hercules is there, battle damage, war torn, successful, and the entire crowd erupts with applause and cheers, and they they all start celebrating him as a hero, which is really, really cool. Really, really cool. And then it does this another big music. It's a lot of big musical numbers here. Sorry if you heard that. I hit my microphone. There's a lot of bloody, what's it called? Musical numbers, which is pretty amazing in this film, which is really good. It's typical Disney back in the day, a lot of musicals. And, that's what Disney was known for back in the day. It was, Disney animated films, musicals, live action musicals as well, which has kind of been lost lately, but I think they're really bringing it back right now, but that's for another story. So then you get this montage of like Hercules becoming a hero, doing everything and whatnot, and then it cuts into that Hades is actually being really pissed off. I mean, to the point he's tried everything to he's tried everything to kill this guy, and he doesn't know what to do. But meanwhile he's having this rant. His minions are like wearing his merchandise. So like I think it's Panic. Oh, is it Pain? Pain is the big one, right? Pain is the big one, and he's wearing like Hercules' sandals. And Hades is like about to blow on him, and then all of a sudden you just hear this slurping. The two turn comedically to Panic, and he's just drinking out of the drink spot, and he's like, coys away, smiles, and goes thirsty, and then Hades just goes absolutely ballistic to below everyone. Down below, everyone is like just like having a good time. Hades explodes, everything explodes, and everyone's just going, "What the hell is this?" Which I get is a bloody great scene. I'm going to play that scene at the end of this episode. It's that is probably one of the best sound bites ever. Most of the sound bites in there are probably James Woods related because that's all I could find really. And James Woods is like the probably the best character. Hades is probably the best character in this movie just by comedic timing and everything else like that. So Hades then comes up with an idea where he needs to unleash the Titans, but now he has to come up with an idea to like get him. Meanwhile, Hercules is telling Zeus, telling Hercules how he spent the day, how he became like the hero, what he's been doing, and then all of a sudden, Phil and Hercules fall out because, let's face it, Hercules is a bit of a dick at this point because the fame's getting into his head, and Phil's trying to calm him down, talk sense to him, but Hercules not having any of it. So Phil just walks out on him. He's had enough, done, whatever. And pretty much Hercules is like, I don't need you, I don't need anyone, blah, 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 blah. So while Hercules goes to like Meg tries to persuade him what's going on, and then he goes, they go to the stadium then, don't they? They're at the stadium where Hades meets Hercules for the first time, and then Hades is like I would, you're gonna give up your power to save Meg. You gotta spend, you gotta do this. But Hercules is like, no, I refuse. But if you don't do it, she either dies or Hades holds Meg hostage and offers her freedom in exchange for Hercules' surrendering his strength, which Hercules eventually does on the condition that there's no harm comes to Meg at all, which Hercules accepts, but is heartbroken after learning that Meg was working for Hades all along, which is really, really sad. But then Hades unleashes the Titans and also unleashes the Cyclops to Thebes to destroy not only Thebes but Hercules as well. With Hercules using his wits to defeat the Cyclops, which he does successfully, but there was a point in the battle where Meg pushes Hercules out of the way, and Meg is mortally injured, saving Hercules from a falling building, which then breaks Hades' spell, which gives Hercules his strength back. While this is happening, Hades is up in Mount Olympus now with the Titans taking over Zeus and everybody, but down below on Earth, Meg sadly dies, and Hercules is upset. Phil consolidates him as well, and then Hercules is like, "No, I could do." Phil's like, "There's nothing you could do, kid." But then Hercules just looks up in a fit of rage, going, "Yes, I can." And then he goes up to Mount Olympus, defeats Hades and the Titans, and then while Hades climbs back down to they call it the Styx. They call it the Styx in the Land of Disney. It's a kids' film. Everybody knows it's hell, right? Or the underworld. Okay, but he falls down to the Styx, and then Hercules is then, I want Meg's spirit back, but Meg's spirit is in the cesspool of spirits. So Hercules decides to jump in, but as he's jumping in, his body is starting to age quite rapidly to the point where the fates have got like the string. They have these strings of people's souls and whatnot, and when they cut them, the person dies and their spirit comes to the underworld. They do this on Hercules. As they're about to do it, they snip Hercules' string or rope or lifeline. Let's call it a lifeline. But as they cut it, it turns into this gold fabric, and they can't cut it. the thread won't cut, and then all you the next scene, then you see Hades is like bewildered, and this glowing Hercules emerges with Meg's body. Meg's body. I'm not laughing at that. The next bit, I'm gonna laugh. Hades is freaking out. Hades is freaking out to try to stop Hercules, but Hercules gives him like a back fist, crushing his face in his head, and he's like pops his face out. Well, I deserve that. And then is it Hercules then? Oh, what does Hercules do then? Does he kicks Hades? He does something to Hades. I don't know whether he kicks him or the spirits just drag him down. I think he kicks him down. And then Hades is being attacked by the spirits. Hercules puts Meg's spirit back into Meg's body, which causes Meg to become alive again. And then Hercules is then summoned to Mount Olympus, where all the gods, including Zeus and Hera, welcome him home, saying he's proved himself to be a true hero through the strength of his heart. However, do you want to return to the gods? While Meg is watching, really happy, but really gutted that he's back with the gods now. He won't come back to Earth, but Hercules then decides to say, "No, I want to stay with Meg. I don't want to stay on Earth," which is granted. Zeus creates a constellation of Hercules in the honor, much to Hercules' happiness, which is really, really cool. It's all happy, singing and dancing. Everybody's really happy, and it ends really, really well. This film is that's kind of like what the movie is. This movie is it's really good. If you haven't seen it, please go and check it out. It's really, really awesome. Yeah, budget. This movie had a really good budget of $85 million for an animated film back then, and at the box office, it did a whopping $252.7 million, which is a lot for Disney. This shows how successful this movie was, and the array of voice actors you've got Tate Donovan. Isn't Tate Donovan one of the Donovan brothers? I'm pretty sure he is. And then you've got Tate Donovan, you got Danny DeVito, James Woods, Rip Torn, Lily White, Bobcat Goldthwait, and Matthew Fewer, who play Pain and Panic. You've also got Jim Cummings as well, who plays the narcissist who you see later on. Wayne Knight's in it. Corey Burton's in it. Keith David's in it as well, and Frank Waller is in it as well. Also, there's a person who I didn't know who voiced Meg, but a well-known voice actor by the name of Susan Egan, Egan, who voiced Belle in Beauty and the Beast, which I was very, very surprised with. I didn't even know that. So, so it was really, really cool to hear some of the stuff. Some of these voice actors playing their roles. Everybody played their role really, really well. James Wood as Hades is probably one of the best, voices and well-known voices ever. And this film is really, really cool. It's so, so good. Apparently there are controversies with the film, which I don't really want to get into because, this is a happy podcast, and I don't really want to go into anything like that, really. What are we looking at here? Yeah. There is a talk. While we're covering this, there is a talk at the moment that live action version of this film is coming out and it's being produced. And it's being produced by as far as I'm aware at this moment in time, Joe and Anthony Russo also are serving as producers of the film. Which if you guys don't know, the Russo brothers helped bring the Avengers movies from Marvel. So there's a lot of there's good sets of like directors looking into this. So I'm quite looking forward to it, but I could be wrong. Between the live remake was announced in April 2020, so a lot of stuff between then and now has changed, I assume. I think a lot of people really want, if this is actually happening, I think a lot of people would want Danny DeVito to play Phil. As I agree, like if you've got the voice actors from the original movie and they're still alive and still around, why not bring them into the forefront of a live action movie? Which one day I will talk about the remake Lion King film and what I have to say about that. But yeah, man, this is gonna be good. I love this movie. This is one of the best Disney animated movies of all time, and I highly, 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 highly recommend you guys checking this out. Really, really good. That's it. So I'll play a little bit of that scene, I promise you, and then we'll do the outro, and then we'll get out of here. So see you in a bit.
Nice shooting, Rex.
I can't believe this guy. I throw everything I've got at him, and it doesn't even... What are those?
I don't know. I thought they looked kind of dashy.
I've got 24 hours to get rid of this bozo. Well, the entire scheme I've been setting up for 18 years goes up in smoke, and you are wearing his merchandise!
Thirsty?
And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. That is episode 33 of the podcast. We were talking Disney's Hercules. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you enjoyed the show, we have 32 other episodes in the archives right now. It's good to be back after a week's break, 2 weeks in now after a 31-week streak. So really, really glad to be back. Check us out. We are on... Where are we? We are on social media. If you follow the podcast at Multiverse of Entertainment Pod on Instagram, Mo Podcast on TikTok. You can follow me on my personal social media at ItzThatNerdJames on Instagram, X, or Twitter, as some of us normal people call it. You can also follow me there on TikTok, and you can catch me on Twitch, twitch.tv/ItzThatNerdJames. I'm only streaming there 2 days a week at the moment because I work night shifts currently, and it's that's all I can do right now. So please stick around and enjoy the streams when I come on there. Every Wednesday, Thursday, I'm on Twitch. You can also check us out on YouTube as well, youtube.com/ItzThatNerdJames. All of the podcast episodes are in the that page there as well, and we are officially on audio. We are on an audio form as well. You can find us at Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Amazon Music, and now we are on YouTube Music as well. So go and check us out on YouTube Music as well. So go check us out, the Multiverse of Entertainment podcast, everywhere. Okay. Next week we are episode 34, and as promised, we will be bringing back the episode I was originally meant to do on episode 32, but pushed back. We are talking Goosebumps, and I'm looking forward to that one. We'll have a guest on as well. Buddy Suspect Clarence will be joining me back there for that. So I need to organize a time, ready to go for that. So I'm going to play the outro that we all love so much. Check us out. See you next week. Have a good week. Hope you enjoy your Monday. Hope you enjoy the rest of your week. See you next Monday. Goodbye.